What's happening, guys? My name's Kenji and welcome to the third installment in the League of Legends how-to series. Today we're going to be having a look at Evelyn. We're going to be going over all the normal stuff: abilities, masteries, runes, summoner spells, item builds, rotation, skins, all of that. So first up, we're going to go and have a look at Evelyn's abilities. So this is Evelyn's first ability, called Hate Spike. It does damage to the closest enemy and also 50% damage to a secondary target. Whilst this ability doesn't do a lot of damage early game, by end game it does put out a fair chunk of damage, and it is going to be the spammable ability in your rotation, which we're going to cover later on. Shadow Walk is Evelyn's second ability. It's her stealth, which is going to make it one of your primary abilities that you're going to be using. So you get 10 seconds of stealth per rank that you take. But just as important, you also get a stun. So when you're stealth and you attack an enemy with either auto attack or a damaging ability, it's going to stun them for a certain duration of time depending on your rank. So Ravage is Evelyn's, big burst damage ability. I like to use this as my opener when coming out of stealth. Not only because it does a lot of damage, but more importantly because it reduces the target's armor and also their magic resistance, which means that my Hate Spike, when I'm spamming that, is going to be doing a lot more damage. But we'll cover all of that in the rotation part of this guide. Evelyn's last ability is her ulti. Now, what this does, it increases her attack speed and her movement speed for a duration of time. It also, the cool thing about it, it refreshes if you either kill an enemy or I believe if you get an assist on an enemy. So don't be afraid to spam it in team battles or when you know you're going to get the kill on an enemy. It also allows Evelyn to refund some of her health upon the death of an enemy champion. So this is Evelyn's ability sequence. Now, I'm not sure what a standard Evelyn build is, but this is how I do it here. I level up Ravage first, followed by Hate Spike, and then Shadow Walk. Obviously getting my ulti at level 6, 11, and 16. Now, I level up Ravage first because it'll do an insane amount of damage, massive burst damage. But more importantly, it'll reduce the target's armor and their magic resistance by a greater amount. Hate Spike, I level up second because it's my spammable ability. And by rank 5 and level 14, you're going to have a lot of your gear, and it is going to be putting out quite a bit of damage by then. Shadow Walk, I level up last. Now, a lot of you may be wondering why. By early mid game, I find level 8, I take rank 2. I find that it's more than enough. You get 20 seconds worth of stealth, and you get I'm not too sure on the duration of the stun, but the duration of the stun is more than enough to keep an enemy in place long enough for either the rest of your team to catch up to them or for you to take them out before they're running back to a tower or whatever. That's why I don't take the rest of it till ranks 15 and up, because I really don't need 50 seconds of worth of stealth early to mid game. Ulti, whenever I can, for obvious reasons, it's a very good ulti, so you want to get that ranked up as fast as you can. These are the masteries I take on Evelyn. Again, it's a 921 build. I do use this for a lot of champions. I'll let you guys have a look through and copy them down. There's a few subtle differences between this and the other couple of builds that I've done, but nothing too drastic. So copy them down if you wish. You can pause the video now. The runes I use for Evelyn are pretty straightforward. I take Insight for magic penetration. I take the two forces, the Glyph of Scylla Force and the Glyph of Force for ability power per level, and Quintessence of Potency for flat ability power. You can use either the flat ability power for the Glyphs and the Seals or the per level ones. I prefer the per level because they give you more at the end game, where Evelyn is really going to start to put out much more damage than a lot of the other champions. The summoner spells I use on Evelyn, or the main two I use, are Exhaust and Ignite. So Exhaust is useful for you go into stealth, you go up to the enemy, stun them. Once that stun's run off, you use Exhaust straight away. Really, they can't do anything. So they've gone straight from a stun to Exhaust By that time that stun's off anyway, you would have done a large portion of damage. There's really no escaping from you. You're going to be able to beat them 9 times out of 10 unless they have some sort of way of getting out of the stun or the exhaust. So I use Ignite because Evelyn's going to be, especially endgame, is going to be attacking rather quickly, and her hate spike is going to be, you're going to be spamming that. It's going to be doing a lot of damage. So Ignite is just sort of a little extra boost in damage. It's just going to allow you to kill people just that much quicker. It's also very handy for getting first blood and that sort of thing early game. Now I've mucked around with taking Ghost over Ignite. It doesn't, because her ulti also increases movement speed, and it's up so often because it's refreshed every time you kill someone. I don't really see any benefits in taking Ghost. I'd rather take Ignite. If you need to escape, you've generally got your ulti up to use as an escape option if you really need to. So here we have Evelyn's item build. So I start off with the tome and a health potion. Now from there I go and buy Sheen as soon as I can. Whilst the stats are good, I'm more interested in the passive. So when you use an ability, the base damage of your next one is going to be increased by 100%. So this is really useful for early game when you're going to be either going for first blood or you're going to be ganking mid or whatever you're going to be doing. Just that bit of extra damage early game is really going to help you in the long run. Your second item you're going to want to get is Boots of Mobility. Now, you want to go and get Boots of Speed as soon as you can after you've got Sheen, and then come back and get Boots of Mobility. This is going to allow you to move really quickly when you're out of combat, and because you're going to be stealth so much, you can move around the map really and be invisible to everyone else unless they've got a lot of wards down. So obviously that more mobility you can get with either chasing people, moving around the map without being seen, or that sort of thing, it's going to give you a bit of an advantage. The third item I get for Evelyn is the Death Cap. Now I do get this pretty early, but assuming you're getting quite a few kills, which it should be as Evelyn, then it's really not going to affect you that much, the cost of the item. So I get this A for the 155 ability power, but B, the increases your ability power by 30%. So for the third item, you're going to have a lot of ability power. This is going to boost the amount of damage your Ravage does and also your Hate Spike. So it's at this point in the game that you're really going to be starting to deal out a lot of damage. Lichbane is the fourth item I get. So the mana, ability power, magic resist, movement speed, they're all great, but what you're really looking at again is the passive. So every time you use an ability, you're going to be dealing 100% of your ability power as damage. So it's got a 2-second cooldown, which means that say you're up to 300 ability power, you're going to be dealing an extra 300 damage every 2 seconds. And when you're spamming Hate Strike as much as you are, that's going to be up a lot, which is going to equal to a lot more damage in the long run. So the next item I get is the Rage Blade. Now, the stats are nice once again, but 90% of my items I get for, and most people get, is for the passive. So this increases my attack speed by 4% and my ability power by 6 every time I attack or cast a spell or whatever. It lasts for 5 seconds and it stacks up to 8 times. So it's good for team fights and that sort of thing, where you're going to be attacking a lot, but you're not necessarily going to be in the fight for a long time. So it's just to put out that extra bit of boost of damage that you're going to need. So for my fifth item, I get Sword of the Divine. Now you get 60% increased attack speed, but more importantly, you also get an extra 100 magic damage on every 4th attack. So with all these abilities, passives combined from all the items, and the amount you're going to be spamming Hate Spike, you're going to be putting out an insane amount of damage from Evelyn at this stage. This also combined with Ignite, you're pretty much going to be able to drop anything. The only thing you're going to be slightly struggling with is tanks, but even then they shouldn't be too much of a problem. So this is the last item I get, it's the Void Staff, but you'll notice that in this build, all my items are very set. In my other builds I've had with Rise and kog'maw, they've always had the sixth item is always varied a little bit depending on the situation. With Evelyn, I really don't like to vary it too much. I like to keep the same item builds no matter how the match is going. I found that this has worked well in all situations that I've come up against so far. So I get the Void Star for 70 ability power and then 40% magic penetration. This is going to allow you, especially the 40% magic penetration, is going to allow you to take down just about anyone in sort of 3 to 4 shots, if that. The only thing you won't be able to do that with is obviously tanks, but even then, they're not going to be that much of a hassle for Evelyn. So here we have Evelyn's rotation. Now it's an extremely simple one. You want to go into stealth, pop your ulti, run up to them, open up with Ravage to reduce their armor, their magic resist, and then spam Hate Spike as much as you can until Ravage is off cooldown. Use Ravage again, continue to spam Hate Spike until your Ravage is up, and finish them off. Now, if this doesn't kill them, just continue to use your Hate Spike spam and Ravage when it's up. Here's a live example of how good the rotation does work. So you see me go into stealth here. I'll pop my ulti in a minute. Open up with Ravage, Hate Spike spam, exhaust, ignite, spamming Hate Spike, and I come away with pretty much no damage. 90% of your fights are going to be like that. So just continue that rotation, you'll be able to take down most things. So here we have Evelyn's skins. I'm just going to be quiet for these and let you guys have a look at them. Well, there we go, guys. That's how I play Evelyn. Please keep in mind that's just how I personally play her. If you guys find a guide or a play style that works better for you, go ahead and use that. But if you try this one out, send me a message with how you go, because I'd be interested in some feedback to see how it works for other people. Now, Evelyn as a champion, she's a very, very good and strong champion. However, I think she's a little bit overpowered, to be honest. I know when I'm not playing Evelyn that or say if I'm playing Rise or someone and I'm up against an Evelyn, I know that I'm going to be in for trouble if she's a good Evelyn player. You really need to have your wit about you and a lot of map awareness if you're versing a good Evelyn. And things like wards and that sort of thing are going to be able to counter her to some extent, but even then a good Evelyn player will know how to, will know that you have wards down. But go ahead, give her a try. You probably do well considering she is such a good champion. This video is coming to an end, guys, so if you could leave a comment, rate, and subscribe if you liked the video, that would be much appreciated. I'm going to leave it here and let you guys watch the gameplay for a bit. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.